this as a fact. Right.
I would actually think that gorillas would be less scary from the moon because there's the reduced gravity, so they wouldn't be quite as muscular.
You know, you've really put some thought into this.
I mean, it's a very basic physics fact. That's how gravity does. It makes your bones denser, makes your muscles bigger.
We do have a sub here. Gen.G is out. Ion coming back
in, which really leads me to believe that they're going to be really sticking with this classic Ryan Winston setup rather than Gen.G seemed to be a lot on that for the Hammond play.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. And we've seen that plenty with other main tank duos where you have generally one tank that is very much a Ryan specialist and the other tank that ends up being more in the Winston and Hammond role, so to speak. But take a look at both teams here. In case we're thinking that Edison might be coming on the McCree, not happening.
Not happening just yet, just the 3-3 mirror. You see Gen.G, they're moving here on the right side, going to be looking to contest this high ground. GC Busan wave, they're there, but the fake out from Gen.G actually moving lower straight to point.
And the fake out going to be buying them a little bit of room, and GC Busan wave immediately having to rotate to compensate here. And GC Busan wave a little bit further back, and Gen.G actually doing the secondary rotation all the way back up to the high ground.
Well, they denied the high ground fight entirely by going through lower. GC Busan wave thought they had to rotate the point to deny it, and now they fell.
Well, Gen.G's taking a lot of time to secure a positional advantage here, but it's also taking them a while to get over to point. Daydream eating a lot of damage, going to be healed back up, but now I think Gen.G is finally going to move on over, take the fight here, the GC Busan.
A lot of pressure on Wuyall.
The pressure on Wuyall, it forces them back a bit.
All right, now Gen.G just looking for their next engage. Team's just doing a little bit of poke damage right now. The Zarya's dropping those right clicks. Gen.G moving up top, still looking for this engage, looking to catch anybody.
It's a lot of just rotational chess going on here, where Gen.G is looking for the absolute perfect engage, but
most importantly, Dance's trance. Right now, Dance, he has that trance advantage right now. Are they going to look to use it?
I think they will. They immediately use it as they eat a lot of damage on moving in, but they're able to use the transcendence pressure to find Ion and Alpha. Late grab coming out here from Edison.
They decide to commit the grab? Questionable choice.
It's just not going to do anything. Too many people were down by the time the grab came in. It's a bad choice there. It is not a good grab. And I don't know if it's a sign of frustration or what from GC Busan Wave, but
I mean,
a storm is coming.
A mistime. It was a mistime grab there. Maybe he was expecting Free to have that bomb up, but there was nothing to clean up the grab. I mean, the early trance means there was no support ults for Gen.G, but now Gen.G moving into last. 5 ults up, no grab from Edison. They're free to sort of walk forward.
It's a full storm coming in right now from Gen.G. 5 ultimates up, the only thing not around Transcendence. And Gen.G, I mean, they've been pretty methodical in going around here, waiting for a good engage. But it did pay off for them back on point A, as again, a lot of rotations as they go for point B.
See the rally used early for Alpha E, but there's the grab. Stalker using it. The bomb is out.
Self-destruct right to the back, going to be broken off by the shields. Doesn't quite get what it's looking for. Shatter in from Oberon, knocking down enough.
Blocking
2 pickups.
Shatter as well. Oberon, really good play.
Oberon keeping up the pressure as Gen.G, again, just dissecting the point after getting an early self-destruct in from GC Busan Wave. Not going to get what they're looking for. Gen.G still in a good, dominant setup. Wuyall getting chunked a little bit here, but it's okay for Gen.G. Now it's
Stalker,
just about cleaning
90% to another grab. Dance, he's got Trance. They can hold the point here. They have all the resources they need.
Gen.G holding strong. GC Busan Wave trying to get back in. Edison with a grab. Alpha E down. And Edison hasn't even thrown it out yet. Throws it out towards the latter part. But Gen.G just, again, too much health on the point. Getting cleanup kill after cleanup kill.
Edison gets the DMAC onto Wuyall. Dance going to be falling back. There's building towards another one of the Transcendence. Fielder drops the Nano. Not able to keep Free alive. It's actually on Gen.G. Or not Gen.G, I should say. It's on Alpha E. For some reason, I was like, oh, Hammond, Gen.G's back. But it's Alpha E, just there for the contest. That's going to be the pickup for Gen.G.
Bit messy there for GC Busan Wave, I'd say.
A little messy is one way to put it. A very quick time for Gen.G. Gen.G getting with 4.5 minutes, over 4.5 minutes, 4:31 for their first offense. And GC Busan just not able to.
Not quite.
You're gonna see here a quick intermission. By the way, we're having some sync, a little bit of sync things because we are getting the feed remotely, so we have to sync back up our audio and video.
The tube's getting a little bit clogged up here. It's okay. We're fixing it.
That's what happens.
We're getting all synced back up.
That is exactly what happens.
Looking at our clock right now, and for us, it's 10 seconds, 9 before the gates end up opening up here. And wow, that's just a complete waste of potatoes. At least I think those are potatoes.
Well, I mean, it is potatoes, but have you seen The Martian? Where he had to grow potatoes?
I have not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like we are all synced back up here, guys. So whatever was going on before, it's gone. We're back in the proper time space, as it were.
Gen.G now on the defense. Just getting ready to set up. Busan Wave going to be doing their first offense here, and they have quite a time to beat. Gen.G were extremely fast.
And again, this is also a lot of pressure going on the GC Busan Wave where they're already down 2 maps. So it has to be an absolutely electric offense coming out here. And they're not trying anything crazy. It is just going to be straight 3-3.
3-3 for the GC Busan Wave moving forward. They have to, or they make the choice. Are they going to go high ground or go straight to point here? Looking like they're stacking up to go left underneath Gen.G.
Left, not a route that teams take super often, but see if it works out for GC Busan Wave here. The problem is it doesn't really give them any options to clear out the high ground.
Gen.G looking like they want to contest very early, get the swing damage. You see the bubbles used, catching Ion on that rotation.
Ion immediately down, and Gen.G, they just had a very good drop down as GC Busan Wave was trying to rotate around, and it's decisive. This is going to give Gen.G a very big advantage as they look towards the next fight.
Not just a big first fight win, but a big ult advantage too here. Overon already at 60%. Dance 50% to that Transcendence.
And the key here with how GC Busan Wave was going about, if they try that same route again, it's a route that gives Dance a lot of free time to get damage in.
It also gives Oberon a lot of ability to swing on multiple targets.
So Gen.G gonna be holding up top here, GC Busan Wave. Again, going to the left side, and it's giving Gen.G such a good dive-in opportunity here.
GC Busan Wave rotating all the way through the stairs, coming up on the high ground. We see Oberon swinging so close to the Trance.
And Gen.G right now, Wuyao gonna get demeched. Opportunity now for GC Busan Wave. They punish Wuyao a little bit too deep. Now they get full control of the high ground, but Wuyao hasn't been finished off here yet. Oberon drops the shadow in response to pressure, knocks down one. They're able to back out a little bit. GC Busan Wave still all 6. They get Oberon. Oberon can't finish off that last pickoff, and GC Busan Wave able to rotate it back over.
Wow, great support use. Very, very great support ult usage there from Fielder and from Alpha E, dropping both the Rally and the Transcendence to keep GC Busan alive there because Ion was so low. Edison was caught by that shatter. However, Gen.G in return, Dancy's kept his Transcendence up, fused close to the beat, and Stalker gonna have that combo up for Wuyao.
So GC Busan Wave able to get through point A. They still could set a quicker time here.
But not a lot in their bank, though, is the problem. They had to use 2 support ults.
No, but they still have at least Grav Bomb as one condition. I mean, so does Gen.G. So there's
they would have to get it off first. They need to get it off first here.
And it's to Edison right now, where Edison needs to find the way to throw in the grab, not get it eaten. They go through it, and Fielder gets danced.
That
Such a big
huge shatter.
The shatter falling through the Graviton. Gonna be pulling them all together right now. Free still holding on to self-destruct, hasn't even needed to use it. GC Busan Wave off the early pickoff. They get the cleanup right after.
That was an incredible pick from Fielder, getting Dance, denying the Transcendence. There's the Trance out, setting up the recontest. Stalker, he still has grab, but Daydream has beat Fielder almost to another Transcendence, and they don't touch a faster time for GC Busan Wave.
And it's absolutely what was required of them, given how quick Gen.G got through on their own. GC Busan Wave able to come back in. They set a quicker time for themselves.
Very fast time. That is an extremely fast time. And that is 100% off of Fielder. Fielder's Trance keeping them alive on first. Fielder getting the pickoff onto Dance, denying the Transcendence. Extremely huge.
So this might be a bit of a slugfest here, as again, GC Busan Wave fighting for their lives here in the series now. And so far, 3-3 battle across the way.
It has been, and it has been a GC Busan Wave coming out on top so far. I mean, realistically, when there's so much time on the board here, it's almost like you're starting fresh anyways. It's like starting just the first offense again because you just have so much time. It is a significant difference. I mean, almost 40 seconds, but still nothing really where it signals crunch time.
And the interesting thing here is if Gen.G is going to change up their approach at all, because the one thing about Gen.G's first attack is that it was a very sort of time-insensitive attack where they spent a lot of time on rotations, looking for the perfect engage, all the way to the point that they wait until they got Transcendence before ever truly going at GC Busan Wave. With 4.5 minutes, you think they take the same type of
I mean, that's
approach.
a lot of time for a push, so I don't think there was anything wrong with that. I think that's a fine approach. It's more of now that they just have to make sure that they have a much better defense more than an offense.
See how Gen.G goes about this here. Fire Strike just going to get gobbled up early. This is the fate of many Fire Strikes for the Diva there. And Gen.G rotating to the right side, not going for high ground here just yet, but really weighing their options. And again, very patient in deciding how to go in.
Yeah, they're just trying to potentially find someone from GC Busan Wave, catch them on that rotation. Going high ground now for Gen.G, looking to set up, trying to find any sort of scenario. The bubble's out, so they're going to wait a couple more seconds because they use that bubble for Stalker to get that energy before dropping the point.
So Gen.G now off the high ground. Now it's time to drop on in. They like what they see, immediately going in on Ion. Ion got the bubble early, but it's nowhere near enough to save him. Way too isolated, and Gen.G's drop down pretty solid. It comes at a cost. We all's demeched, but Oberon has so much room to work with. Now he doesn't have to worry about the other Ryan.
Yeah, not having Ryan means also he's free to swing a lot more aggressively. Free gonna go run into the back. There was actually a collapse onto Dance.
It was a nice flank from Free. It opens up the wave here for GC Busan as they're able to go in, but again, Free couldn't get out in time. Ends up getting demeched. Gen.G still with the ability to take a moment to regroup and head in with an advantage.
The only thing is Ion is going to be back. Free will be back soon enough because he has those Diva boosters. Gen.G regrouping on the higher ground where we're gonna see a very heavy ult fight coming up.
The ult fight's coming up. There is a slight window of opportunity here, but Gen.G's taking a long time to get set back up, so there's gonna be a full 6-on-6 once more. Stalker opening up the fight with the grab. Looking for the follow through here is Gen.G. They get Alpha E right off it, and they're getting Vesta barrier as well, just trying to be sure. They get the barrier of GC Busan Wave right as Ion goes down. This is turning out to be a very good sequence of trades for Gen.G.
A lot of ults used for GC Busan Wave, but they are going to pick up the point. Gen.G here just cleaning up. A lot of ults invested for GC Busan Wave. Those triple support ult, not a lot of value found. Plenty of time burned off the clock, but the thing they have to worry about is Gen.G. They need to just, if they take a fight here very early, maybe even use this Transcendence to survive the combo, they're in a very bad position.
And Gen.G, will see if they realize that. So far, they've been pretty patient in their approaches, but this might be the time to just go straight in.
I actually don't even think this is the time to go straight in. I think you wait to build Stalker's Trance first. You have Wuyao's bomb. There's no support ults up for GC Busan Wave. The real worry here is if they can get the engage, if GC Busan Wave can get their combo out first.
GC Busan Wave gonna be holding back a bit here. Both teams playing it slow. 2 minutes left for Gen.G. Both teams now getting into it on the point. Nothing seriously invested here yet. The rally is out for Gen.G. It's allowing them to get a little bit more of an aggressive posturing here. GC Busan Wave holding a bit back. Transcendence in reserve. Graviton out. Self-destruct. Not invested and not needed as GC Busan Wave just pummels Gen.G.
Now that was a pretty okay engagement for Gen.G. It wasn't the best that they could have asked for, but they got Edison's grab out of the equation. They're about to have both their support ults up very soon. They have their combo. It's gonna be pretty much a 5v4, 5v5 ult fight coming up.
And Gen.G, you look back to what they used there, aside from the rally, they pretty much sandbagged the last fight, specifically to get a bit of an edge for this fight.
They saved everything, and they're fine now to be very aggressive here. The Trance don't have to worry. There's
big
the
self-destruct, catches Fielder in the back. Graviton and self-destruct still up for Gen.G after the Earth Shatter. Free though, self-destruct of his own, gets what keyed, and it's all evened up.
Free
this
eats
is
grab
very
and Stalker
good.
too. That's it. It's over. They can't win the fight now. Alpha E using that rally, I should say, picking up Oberon.
And that was Gen.G's big haymaker punch there. It doesn't.
And Free denies it entirely.
Yeah, and that was even after Oberon opened the fight with an Earth Shatter that was quite good.
And advancing that Transcendence from Dance along with the grab being eaten, the Shadow from Oberon. This is really, really big for GC Busan Wave. That was the best, probably the best in terms of like this most recent time bank. But the thing is, only going to be about 30 seconds left as Gen.G move into the point here, where it's last fight territory, especially with the longer this rotation takes.
It's last fight territory, and you think about ways that Gen.G can take this fight. Wuyao's going to have to hit the bomb of the gods here without a whole lot of setup for him, unless Oberon gets a shatter up soon. And he might have the time to build the Shatter too. They're trying to hold back. They're under pressure. They have to use the barrier under pressure. GC Busan Wave just going directly into them. Oberon has Shatter, drops the Shatter as Ion drops on the other side. Ion Shatter much better in the middle of the fight, and Edison is right there.
And that's
just
last.
Beast.
That's the end of it. This is going to be cleanup for GC Busan Wave on the point. Not a single tick gotten for Gen.G. And GC Busan Wave have an extremely clear win condition now, moving into their offense.
This is looking very, very good for GC Busan Wave. I mean, realistically speaking, now you look at this, it should at a minimum be a draw, but they also need more than a draw. They have to get through point A, which with 5 minutes, it would be astounding if they didn't. And then they don't have to do a whole lot on point B to keep the series alive.
They really don't. When you know your win condition is only one tick, you can also just, as long as you get first within a reasonable time frame, you can just build ults. Just wait to make the best ult push possible. Really good, just a really good recognizing, I should say, GC Busan Wave recognizing their support ult advantage in that last fight of their defense and being extremely aggressive with Fielder's trance, catching Gen.G, forcing the beat out early, and now they're in a solid position to take the map. They just need to convert.
And keeping the series alive, very important. Meanwhile, for Gen.G here, I mean, you can't feel under too much pressure, but on the same note, it's not great when you are so dominant on the first two maps and suddenly Assault starts going against you. It starts opening up the questions in your mind of, oh no, are we going into reverse sweep territory? So, I mean, it is very possible Gen.G could force a draw here at least, but it's going to be a long
forcing the
run.
draw ends the series.
Yeah.
So either way, GC Busan Wave have to pick up this map if they want to continue their run into the series, if they want to deny the series win to Gen.G. Moving out here, first offense, both teams running the 3-3 with that Reinhardt on the main tank. GC Busan Wave going to rotate here from the left.
GC Busan Wave coming in from the left. And again, this is what they've been favoring the entire time, where they sort of go back and forth between do they want to go directly high ground or go to the left. Gen.G, they're really aggressive last time. It led to Wuyall dying off the engage. And Gen.G fighting them man for man here. Daydream getting super low early, but so is Stalker. 2 down early on, Fielder falling. And Gen.G getting the better of the poke exchange here.
The much better of the poke exchange. Catching Fielder early means your healing, your damage, as long as you can play around dance, much stronger for Gen.G. Now
taxi
GC Busan
duty.
Wave, yeah, there's the taxi duty. GC Busan Wave having to back up, having to regroup. Fuse going to be bringing back Stalker. And here comes GC Busan Wave moving back in.
GC Busan Wave off on the high ground. This time they've decided to go to the right-hand side. Not quite taking their usual approach. Gen.G, meanwhile, prioritizing the point. GC Busan Wave just peppering them. From above, nice knockoff. Waits, pulls them into waiting Maw. Oberon here gets super low. They're trying to chase him down, and yet all the while getting healed, but it's not enough. Alpha Yi gonna deliver the final blow. GC Busan Wave.
GC Busan Wave want to save their ults. They really don't want to have to invest anything in this fight. It's looking like they're not. Gen.G also not investing anything. So this is great for GC Busan Wave. They're going to have 6 ults. They should not use a single one of them moving into this next push. They have to get ults out of Gen.G.
It's all or nothing here, though, as well. If they invest ults here and don't get that 33%, it gets quite grim.
They should not. I really don't think they should invest anything here. They have so much time on the board, ZP. Just get ults out of Gen.G.
So they're moving forward. Gen.G starting to feel the pressure. Rally used. And that's fine to use Rally here. Just
they use Shatter too, though.
Shatter can be invested from Oberon on the other side. Transcendence now out from Gen.G. Both teams all in on this fight. Free dropping the self-destruct, the barrier up for Gen.G. And Gen.G getting the better of the trades. Oberon taking down Free. And Gen.G, oh, wow. That is such a huge swing in the momentum of the match. GC Busan Wave is drained.
And Wakid also able to hold on to the rally as well, so they have a fight win for the next fight, allowing Gen.G to continue to build up ults. I don't know if Ion's barrier was broken or if he didn't realize that Alpha Yi's shield can't block all the damage since it is splash. It's a very small shield because Ion dies to that bomb. If Ion doesn't die to the bomb, if he had that barrier up, then GC Busan Wave could have won that fight.
This is now a lot worse for GC Busan Wave. They still have 3 minutes to get a tick. It's certainly still winnable, but that was their fight to lose. Now, again, aggressively going in. Both Reinhardts out of the fight. It's a trade early on. Rally still in progress here for Gen.G. They use it to find free on the left-hand side. And Gen.G just a lot of room for Dance.
So much.
Yeah, Dance just is like, I guess we're just throwing orbs at people.
That was really off the back of a Wikid's rally, allowing Gen.G to be aggressive, to sustain during that fight. GC Busan Wave building up their ults, but now they've once again entered the problem of that they need to get ults out of Gen.G to have a much easier fight win. They have time, and they have time in the bank, CP. Just take a dry fight. Just take an eco fight.
You don't have to win every fight. They just need to win one fight is the world that GC Busan Wave is in, but I'm not even sure they know it with the decisions they've been making so far. Gen.G holding back. Graviton ready for Stalker. GC Busan Wave looking for a grab of their own. It's going to be...
Oh, Oh,
okay.
That is a truly tragic C9 from Gen.G. That is quite terrible. They invest the grab, and they don't touch point.
Remember what we were saying about this meta being something where mental attitude is everything, and you don't want to have moments of high tilt? That right there is absolutely devastating to the psyche of a team.
I mean, my mental would be absolutely boomed.
If
I'm Gen.G, my mental would be boomed. My mental's boomed. I'm not even playing the game. I'm just watching.
Yeah, our mental is boomed, and we are half a world away right now.
That was a disgustingly bad C9. I think they were regrouping off the point. I think Gen.G was just trying to build up some health, get their cooldowns about ready to go to engage off that grab, but they probably didn't realize how fast the point ticks down when you have 5 people on there.
Well, yeah, I also think it's just the part where I think it's easy to forget that they didn't have any buffer room there. That was not a normal point B fight. It wasn't, if we give up a tick, it's fine. It's like, no, you give up a tick, that's it. The map is over, which means that now we are going to be heading to a map that is in a lot of ways a wild card. It's going to be Gibraltar.
Gibraltar, and this is also finally the best case scenario for GC Busan Wave. I mean, they played 3-3 on Horizon, which is a map that allowed you to, abuse verticality, but Gibraltar, that is the verticality map. And I would be shocked if I don't see Edison on a hit scan hero. I would be shocked.
So is the wave building right now for GC Busan? It very well could be. Gibraltar coming up next, right after the break. A wise man once said that after every C9 comes a great mental boom, and that might be the world that Gen.G is living in after the end of Horizon there.
Yeah, that is true. That is tragic. That I don't even know how to describe that. I see the grab come out. I watch it in slow motion as they don't touch the point, and Gen.G waves goodbye to Horizon Lunar Colony. It's in the rearview mirror off that C9, so it's going to be 1-2 now for GG Busan Wave. They have a chance of equalizing the series, taking it to the map 5, but they have to win Gibraltar. Fourth map in the series here.
And again, Gibraltar, it can be a wild card. It's a map that, as we've talked about all night long, heavily emphasizes verticality. It's where you're not sort of shackled to 3-3 unless you want to be, which of course some teams definitely do. But for a player like Edison that very clearly wants to play things other than 3-3, maybe this is where we'll see a bit of a change up. We'll have to find out, but certainly Gen.G looking a little bit vulnerable after looking very strong at the half.
I mean, they did look a lot better on Horizon Lunar Colony. I think it was kind of risky. I mean, who knows what would have happened in the rest of that series if Gen.G hadn't done the C9 there for that defense, because they were using ults. They were, they might have just thrown some more ults out there, but they got the win. They got the win, and that's really the definition of a team beating itself rather than you beating a team. So now they need to take that momentum, move into Gibraltar, have a much better performance, also play to their strengths if possible, and then tie it up.
And again, I think things couldn't be better for GC Busan Wave here, where, just in case you guys think we're coming up with thin air, we are serious when we talk about the mental aspect here, where running 3-3-esque setups are so dependent on just the very tiny things like good communications at the right time, where a bubble being even a second off can result in just terrible cascading effects. When you're sitting there potentially beating yourself up over an easily avoidable error, it just begets more errors. So this is kind of where Gen.G's mental fortitude gets tested. The good part for them, they do have a lot of veteran players, so maybe they're able to weather the storm.
It's extremely important to see how they retain composure moving in to this last map. See both teams just getting ready, setting up here. And I would like to see, I mean, we've seen that GC Busan Wave have felt comfortable, especially Edison in particular, moving away from standard 3-3. And this is the map I would like to see, like, snipers come out for them. I would like to see, a different style of play. And Ion is still in the lineup, meaning they're still going to be utilizing mostly Ryan Winston. No Hammond, no Jong-gu there. Gen.G now just having a little fun in the spawn.
Just a little bit, not too much.
Not too much.
But you take a look at the defense for GC Busan Wave, and we're speculating, look, if you want to do things off the beaten path, now is the time. No.
The path is very beaten that they've been on. It is a bruised, bloody path, because I've seen this path many a time.
It has been very dire need of being repaved. This is about how broken it is, but look, I mean, Winston GOAT setups here, still very effective, and Gen.G not quite running with that. They're running with the Sombra.
This is a really interesting usage of Wuya on the Sombra rather than Stalker, and Stalker's sort of been the Sombra hero so far. He's been the one that's been playing that hero for the most of the time.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been a very good Sombra at that, where so far he's been able to dictate the pace of the game, and Gen.G still getting a decent amount of payload progress here.
They have. We already 70% to that EMP. GC Busan Wave backing up, getting ready for this next contest. We are building this very quickly. EMP getting caught by Ion though.
And that is rough. The one thing that Sombra doesn't want is getting caught before he can translocate out. GC Busan Wave taking good advantage, diving right in after it. And they lose their Diva mech from it, but it comes with the bounty.
Grab.
Oh, Stalker off the grab. He's cleaning up. Gen.G turning the tables off of that. It remains to be seen if it's going to be enough. Ion going Primal Rage, just getting scrappy, and then some, juggling Zenyatta against the corner. And GC Busan Wave, they are going to rise above towards the very end. It was a fight that had a lot of twists and turns.
That is a very, very good hold for GC Busan Wave, considering how great a grab that was from Stalker. Good reads from Ion, not only using that Primal to get Dance there at the end, but catching Wuyall early in the fight. However, fed a lot of ult charge to Stalker, 50% to another, and the EMP is up for Wuyall.
The one upside here is that if GC Busan Wave stays split, this is a difficult point to get a really high-value EMP on.
I mean, you don't have to get necessarily a hugely high-value EMP, though. If you're Gen.G, you're really just hoping to catch Fielder.
See if they can do that. Fielder's way far behind, okay. And Wuyall right here with it, and he is going directly for the Zen, right? No.
Look, he tries to get the ult out early.
They're stuck in grab. Graviton coming in here from Gen.G. EMP out from Wuyall, and here comes a shadow from Oberon right after. They use it to isolate Ion. Gen.G moving forward, Graviton giving them everything they need and more for the cleanup. And GC
That play
Busan
was
wave.
so smart, ZP. My synapses can't even handle the amount of information that just flew through my eyeballs watching that play, because they fake the EMP. Wuyall goes for the fake on the EMP to try to force trance. Instead, forces Alpha E's rally. Then they come back, get caught in the grab. Wuyall uses defensive EMP and sets up the shadow for Oberon.
It worked out very well for Gen.G, and most importantly, it gave them a decisive fight to give them good positioning here in point B, where Gibraltar is often decided by this very fight here. GC Busan wave, they take the low ground, they try the dive in, but it's only Alpha Yi getting caught. Gen.G able to rotate around and isolate, and it's Busan trying desperately to bring this back. They get on Fuse, but Oberon answers with a shatter of his own, and off the shatter, Gen.G keeps momentum here in point B.
Great job from Oberon. Having that shield presence, having that swing perfectly balanced, setting up another shatter, and now, most importantly, they've continued the momentum, they've won the fight, and Wuyall has another EMP.
And this EMP, it's a good spot for it too. GC Busan is going to be very clumped up. If they try and go through this door, it's going to give Wuyall an excellent opportunity for a full team EMP. Drops EMP immediately, doesn't get Fielder or Daydream though. Both supports still in it, but even with that being the case, Ion is immediately bopped, not saved by the barrier. Fielder doesn't have Transcendence yet, and Stalker off the grab. Just laying in the damage. No pickoffs though as the Transcendent Fielder comes in time, but it's not enough to save Alpha.
Alpha E getting caught by the charge. Oberon has another shadow. He should not be able to have to use it though. Fuse picking up two. Dance getting Daydream. Great play from the supports of GC Busan Wave. Not getting caught by the EMP and Daydream setting up the beat, but it's not enough. Having all of your cooldowns be unable to be used, having the rest of your ults being able to be used for GC Busan Wave means that Gen.G just clean up on point, and 70% to another EMP for Wuyall.
Wuyall is not only hitting his groove, GC Busan Wave has just continually been a rough spot, and okay, this is interesting. That isn't Edison on McCree. That's
free. That is free on McCree. Instead, getting away from that D.Va play, and you really see D.Va all the time on Gibraltar because of the verticality, because of the, especially the value of bombs here on third. The rally's out. Chasing.
Presumably, oh, he gets caught by the shatter. Oberon goes, let's bring this cowboy to ground. Graviton, though, in from GC Busan. Iron hold down to the shatter, but the EMP from Wuyall, it's way late.
Why?
I think he thought he could save it, but it's too late.
That was an extremely late EMP. The grab was already out for GC Busan Wave. They were cleaning up Gen.G. Now they don't have that win condition for the next fight. Fielder, 72% to Trance.
Oh, he's swapping.
He's
That's
making
why.
the swap. Well, he has to swap now. There's no reason to stay on Sombra at this point without the EMP.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was thinking, okay, I want to swap ASAP, but EMP's so strong, it's still probably better to hang on to it.
Now, GC Busan Wave contesting the point. Gen.G looking for their opening. Stalker so close to grab.
Stalker very close. Graviton now going to be up for the fight. Busan, Ion being pretty aggressive, flying into the shatter. Graviton going to be coming on in. And you see Oberon just going in from the back, swinging the hammer. They get Ion out of the fight immediately off of the grab. Wakito also down. Transcendence being invested here. Busan layering support ults to a degree. Right into Oberon. Shatter on the other side.
Gonna get the charge as well. Picking up Edison. Oberon looking for the swings here on the point. Making sure that Gen.G keeps Dance alive. It's just cleanup. And that was a little bit of I think that Fielder got a little too, he held the trance, milked the trance as it's called, a little too long. Because Ion goes down in that fight. They didn't have the shadow, didn't have the shield available. GC Busan Wave have time for another recontest.
And Oberon's just punishing them anytime he gets a free shatter opportunity. GC Busan Wave opening with the rally. Gen.G gonna give a little bit of space, but also a rally of their own.
Look at this pressure on Ion Shield.
Well, not only do they have pressure, but they also have a support ult that simply Busan does not. This is a very good opportunity. Edison's gonna open up with the grab here. No, doesn't even do that. The Graviton comes in early from Gen.G. Edison's grab quite late. Fuse more willing to answer with the barrier, and the self-destruct not gonna do anything from GC Busan Wave. Wuyall self-destruct makes a little bit more room, and now they're getting everything they need. The cleanup has been theirs, and GC Busan unable to hold off Gen.G here. Time looking to be about 1:20.
Good time, very good time for Gen.G. Despite that little bit mishap there with the Sombra on that third, they made the right swaps, had great pushes, and really they just played it the right way. They put the pressure onto Ion Shield after picking up in that fight before, through the late transfer Fielder, and then they were able to set up their grab, get the picks again. Oberon getting those those pin kills. He's not getting denied pin kills too often. They're sometimes hard to set up due to those bubbles, all those barriers available in 3-3, and Oberon's just getting value every time from charges.
That was not just the charges either. I mean, that was a very good series of Earth Shatters coming in from Oberon, where they were fights that were winnable by either side, and Oberon just picking the right opportunity to drop the hammer with the aid of his team. And as a result, Gen.G is in a very good spot to finish out the series 3-1. We'll see what GC Busan Wave does on their attack. Where don't forget, Gibraltar is one of those interesting maps where I would argue that of all the escort maps in the game, Gibraltar has by far the most variability. It's a map that can be speed run if things go right.
We're going to keep saying that phrase, and neither team's going to play anything different. We're going to keep saying it. We're going to be screaming it into the void. Gibraltar, it's so variable, guys, and then neither team is going to feel confident swapping.
I'm not even speaking on heroes. I'm just speaking on time right now for Time Bank, where it's a map that you can be full held on, but it's also a map that we've seen crazy pushes that finish with over 2.5 remaining. It's a map where the defense and offensive swings are pretty severe.
Now, both teams just getting ready to go. Gen.G on the defense now, running this Winston variant of the 3-3, trying to abuse the high ground. GC Busan Wave running in turn. Have the mirror. Moving here to the card.
Gen.G not looking to be too aggro here early on. A little bit of token Winston poke, and Oberon gonna be out of there. Doesn't really get too much off that first engage. But meanwhile, Dance, a lot of room here on top. Land a little bit of damage here as Zen, but there should be a reposition coming out here from Gen.G shortly. No, they're just going to dive on in. GC Busan tries to get in the server room for free, and Gen.G not having any of it.
A very good split for GC Busan Wave, maybe unintentionally, but their tanks were a little bit behind their backline there, actually. Maybe trying to bait the Gen.G dive, as both Winston's just doing a little poke.
Both Winston's pretty equal in ult charge right now as well. Not a significant amount of difference, but Gen.G, they gotta get over to a point. You don't want to repeat history right now. And they decide to dive in. They dive into a waiting mob. Ion! Ion just cleaving on the other side. And GC Busan able to deal with Gen.G's defense here. And now for Gen.G, the real question is, how do you avoid the stagger? How do you retake control on point B?
And the answer is you don't, because Stalker dies late. That's going to be the cap, and a really great rotation for GC Busan Wave, catching Dance and Fuse as they're moving from high ground. They're playing on top close to the server side, and now GC Busan Wave, they're moving forward, moving the point, and they have great ults coming up in their ult bank.
Gen.G able to get back in the point B here, so it's not quite the apocalypse. They don't get super staggered. Dance under very heavy fire here. Not going to use Transcendence too early. Oberon can use Primal Rage here early. Letting Dance save the Transcendence, but Stalker gets caught. Still bursted down out of the grab. That Primal Rage isn't coming back, and GC Busan just easily cleaning up. Maybe Dance should have used the Transcendence there.
No, I actually don't think he should have, because it's so early there in the fight. It would have been unlikely he might have been able to save Stalker. Could have kept Oberon, but it doesn't really matter, because Gen.G now can make a swap. They can come back into the point, and they still have their Transcendence. They still have their grab. They still have the combo.
Ion just getting so much value off this cleave. Eats a bit of a stun, but has Primal in reserve. Gets down! He gets down before he can even use Transcendence. It's only Barrier the save, but the self-destruct right in their face. One down. Dance gonna have to Transcendence out in a hurry, but the problem is Wakid's already down. It might not be worth it anymore.
I think the only way this Transcendence is worth it is if there's a regroup happening, but Oberon goes down late. Ion body blocking. Stalker picked up, Fuse down. Really, really great pick. You see GC Busan Wave looking to drop off that high ground. The ship control, as it's called for the second point, is so important for the offense. As Dance chase to spawn, another stagger kill.
This has been an incredibly tough 2 minutes for Dance, where he's gotten very well acquainted with the spawn room. Meanwhile, GC Busan Wave, 5 whole minutes to bring this to the end. They are setting a record time.
And this is exactly what they need if they want to take the series to map 5. Gen.G now moving up, getting ready for this contest. Oberon's Shatter will be really important in this next fight. You have to get the bubble out. Actually, the bubble out is so early for Ion, so nothing to block the Shatter.
And I think Oberon knows it. Gen.G looking a little bit more willing to go for it. Heavy Primal Rage engage coming in from Ion. Stunned, eating a lot of damage. 1,000 HP or no. Under heavy fire. Here comes the grab though from GC Busan Wave. Answered by the Transcendence from Dance. Finally going to be used here. Busan using the barrier. They still want to take this fight. They're isolating Wakid. Wakid is in real danger here. Able to back out just a little bit, but still under pressure. Fuse can't barrier in time. Gonna fall. Now Busan 6 on 5, keeping up the pressure. Gen.G builds up the grab mid-fight, but they're down members. It's not an ideal time to use. Ion's gonna dive in, heavy cleave. They're caught in the grab, but GC Busan Wave, the self-destruct from Wheel, gonna cleave through.
And this should be the fight win now for Gen.G. Well set up grab combo there. No barriers alive for GC Busan Wave. Ion making the swap to Ryan, getting ready to have this Ryan v Ryan setup, but Oberon gonna have that shatter advantage. They've stymied the push now. However, still a lot of time in the bank for GC Busan Wave.
It is a significant time, but the goal of getting the crazy quick time, it's now gone, and they're quite drained.
They are. Edison coming close to that grab, but Dance has that Transcendence up. So Gen.G are in a really good position.
Rally gonna be coming out here from a key. Gen.G taking the initiative. Oberon dropping the very early shatter, almost gives his life for the attempt.
Transcendence from Dance, actually. This is the tools that GC Busan Wave needs. They have grab beats coming up. They can win this fight.
Edison, the gates are open for him here. He can just drop this grab so long as it's not eaten. That's his main goal here. Do not have your grab get eaten. Go for the grab setup. Let your team move in. Grab, not eaten. Fall through coming in for GC Busan Wave. Fuse out of the fight. Edison, his own cleanup. 6 on 4 for GC Busan Wave. The hammer, gonna be the hammer directly to the body as GC Busan Wave finishes out the map, and it is with a quicker time.
Not as fast as it could have been, but still very fast, much quicker time, and great play from Edison having that grab up, getting set up, the really good grab set up there as well, catching Daydream very early, but really Dance dropping such an early Transcendence to keep Oberon alive. It was a panic trance.
And it was good judgment from Edison there, where obviously he going into he knows, okay, there's not going to be any support ults here to ruin my grab's day. The grab has to be successful. He still didn't rush it because the last thing you want is be an overeager Zarya and feed a diva where that graviton is just a near unstoppable win condition.
No, and that's why you see the grab come out on those boxes there. You see the grab actually get used to catch Daydream there on the box, sort of out of the line of sight from Wuyol, especially after he pressured him, made him back up, use some of that Matrix.
So now we go into extra rounds where, again, because of the volatility of Gibraltar, a minute 19 could be so much more.
It could be a full cap.
Yeah, it really could. It really comes down to overtime here. So even though there is a significant time bank advantage on paper for GC Busan Wave, it might not be an advantage by the time this is said and done.
Certainly not. You see Dance here on the Hanzo, going to put up the Sonic Arrow, just looking for the scout. He's going to see Ion hiding high ground. It's going to be called out. You see Wuyol now trying to look for the pressure. Gen.G move out from spawn.
And the way GC Busan Wave is set up here, they're not really going to be going too heavily in. It's just giving Ion the best case scenario to get a little bit more charge. But there's a change for Gen.G. They're running with the Reinhardt to start with. Why do you think that is?
I mean, the fight is really going to be focused around the card here with so little time. You don't have very much bank to move around. You don't have a lot of options here in terms of rotation. So the cart fight is the most important fight for Gen.G, and having the Reinhardt gives you a lot more presence.
And it makes sense, especially if they win this first fight. It's just going to continually go, and the Reinhardt a little bit better for that in the end. Gen.G for now can take a little bit of refuge here in the server room. Final 30 seconds. Good amount of time being bought here for the defense.
Now, Gen.G just rotating through the server, trying to clear this blue box. They have Wuyol touching point. 20 seconds left. They're setting up. They're getting ready. They're going to have to look for this engage very soon.
Gen.G pushing the issue. Dance getting a lot of damage to start things out. 83% closer to the Transcendence and Fielder. That could be the difference maker here. Ion gonna dive in. Free already low. The focus fire on the Ion, absolutely fantastic. Free was too low. He couldn't help him out. And now the man advantage, Gen.G. We're in overtime, but this could be a whole lot of time by the time it's all over with.
Edison has grab, Fielder has that trance, but I really would suggest against using a GC Busan Wave. The longer this fight goes on, they've gone to OT, they're building ults, but the fight's over.
And every second here, just imagine eating in to the time bank advantage GC Busan Wave had. Now, we're moving into point B. And again, this could go coast to coast here. If they end up finishing out the map, wouldn't be unprecedented.
Had to wait for Free to get back. He did not get that forward spawn. Gen.G Busan wave almost to 6 ults. Same with Gen.G, but Gen.G looking a little bit stronger here with this Reinhardt on point.
They're on the point right now. Gen.G Busan wave taking the fight to him. Ion desperately needs to get Primal. Heavy focus fire on him early. Rally up here for Gen.G Busan wave. Gen.G playing it cool. They haven't invested anything too significant here yet. And they get Ion before they have to use much, as a shatter is what set it up. Oberon caught him with the hammer. And this is so good for the economy of Gen.G.
Oh, such good discipline from Gen.G. Neither Fuse or Dance using the support ults there from the grab. Edison invests the grab. They've invested the rally. Now they don't have it for the recontest. Gen.G Busan wave. This is looking like a second cap because Gen.G still have their combo and both support ults.
And I do wonder if this decision to go Reinhardt over Winston is just really paying dividends now for Gen.G, because I feel like Ion would like to get out, but he doesn't want to give away the Primal.
Ion waiting for Gen.G Busan wave to re-enter here from the high ground. Here comes the engage. Primal likely to look for the split here, maybe even set up the bomb for Free.
Transcendence used here pretty early on by Dance. Gen.G under pressure. Graviton invested. Self-destruct from Muyo, buying Gen.G critical cover, taking down another 2. They're going to get through the point B, and that is insane. They've been out of time for a long time here, Avast, but it doesn't matter.
And this is what we talked about, how 129 could suddenly mean a full cap. That's 2 points now. They're still moving. No signs of stopping because Oberon has Shatter. The beat is still up. And Gen.G Busan wave, they're not even close to really their combo. 30% for Edison.
The overtime push keeps on moving here. Gen.G looking to stay on target. Oberon holding onto the Shatter, looking to go forward.
Early
to capitalize
beat.
the chill pressure. Gen.G Busan wave, they feel the pressure, they beat early, but Gen.G, they don't care. They counter beat, they move in themselves. Ion's already down. Oberon pushing forward, getting super low, taken down. Both teams down their Rhine. And now Gen.G Busan wave just desperately trying to move Gen.G from point. Stalker in high danger. Dance gonna transcend in the
They need to go Edison. They need to go Edison. They see it, but they don't get it.
Edison drops the grab, the Transcendence. It's all faded. Edison his own cleanup on the other way. Gen.G Busan diving over, and they're gonna remove Gen.G from the payload. But it took them such a long time. If you're Gen.G, you're happy with that attack.
Well, they're extremely happy with that attack. I mean, not a full cap, but getting to third, getting a pretty significant distance. Now the pressure is on for Gen.G Busan wave. They have a solid time bank, nearly 3 minutes, but still a good distance to go.
And that's what we're talking about here, where at first it looked like Gen.G was in the whole time bank-wise, which objectively they were, but because of the nature of overtime pushes here, it was possible for them to essentially equalize the odds. And from what they did here, if Gen.G Busan wave could change positions, they would. I think Gen.G is in an advantageous position here because 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I mean, realistically speaking, even if Gen.G Busan wave does things well in the beginning, this is looking like an overtime fight, which means that Gen.G is going to be in a position where all it's going to take is one good fight to finish off the series.
It's really dependent on how the first hold goes. It's sort of going to dictate the entire flow of the rest of this map. Because a good first hold means then Gen.G Busan wave are going to be pushing an OT, while a not great first hold means that likely Gen.G Busan has time left over in the bank for a second and also is able to set up the forward hold, making it extremely tough for that recontest for Gen.G.
Well, that first fight is going to be on the way here soon. Oberon staying where I've seen Winston here all day long. Again, looking for a little bit of cleave damage. Gets precious little before jumping out, playing it very, very safe.
Gen.G holding high ground, just waiting for this next exchange. Likely trying to catch Gen.G Busan wave as they rotate to this server side, that right room.
Oberon, meanwhile, looking for the cleave, staying in the clump of Gen.G Busan bodies. Gets quite a bit from there, another 20%, equalizing bit. Ion a bit behind.
Now look where the card's at though. So has a lot to move. They've sent Free for Gen.G Busan wave to go test the point. Oberon as well contesting, but Oberon taking a lot of damage early. Bubbles out.
Bubble's going to be used on him early, so Oberon buying a little bit more time there. Busan back to pushing with 2.
And now Gen.G just trying to get this contest as much as possible. Really right now, it's sort of the battle of who gets support ult first. If anyone can get support ult first, they can look for a very early engagement.
Dance and Fielder are neck and neck right now, just about even on both sides. But Dance, Transcendence, soon to be up. Fielder, now a little bit behind. Wakid getting low. But Dance, again, very good patience. Doesn't immediately pop it. Oberon, Primal's just in the nick of time. He's in the middle of getting bursted. Hits the Primal, stays alive, disrupts the server room.
If I'm Gen.G, I'm going to commit my ults to this fight. If you get ults out of GC Busan Wave, you take it to OT immediately, and then you just need one good fight.
Transcendent gonna be Investigator. Oberon was too low. Gen.G saying now's the time to go. Self-destruct grab though out from GC Busan. Self-destruct to back. It's so big. 4 coming in for a free. Make it 5. That was such a good setup, and that could give them big momentum into point B.
Well, and even better for Gen.G, they didn't have to commit any ults to get that combo out for GC Busan Wave. Double support ult still up for them, but Gen.G, they're going to have their own combo. They're going to have the beat. They're going to have the rally. The stagger, bad, but really not the end of the world considering all these ults still up for Gen.G.
The issue is that it does give GC Busan a lot more room in point B from the stagger where they're able to catch Brigitte towards the end. But Gen.G, if they execute, they should be able to win the next fight.
Realistically, they only have 2 choices. I mean, they know where their win condition's at. They can wait, they can save ults, or they can look for the engage right here on cart.
Going right now is a little bit risky. If they do win the fight, there's a chance that GC Busan can get back in. They're going to get the early pick up. The Transcendence was too late. It couldn't save the mech. Gen.G in a good spot here, but Oberon under pressure. Gonna fall. It's getting fought back. Barrier a little bit too late. Wheel dropping the self-destruct. Doesn't get what he's looking for.
Oh,
Barrier
no.
starting to fade.
Gen.G.
Gen.G, they overcommit here. They could have waited a little bit longer. They were one fight territory if they did. Instead, the engage is awkward. GC Busan gets the better of it, and now we are in overtime, and Gen.G is looking drained.
Really, the worst part about that is the fuse drop beat far too late, allowed Oberon to go down. You needed Oberon to be alive to clean up on that grab, to move the barriers for your bomb. Here comes Gen.G coming for the recontest. Edison has this grab up.
He's holding on to the grab, hasn't used it here just yet. Could have caught everyone in the choke, decided it wasn't worth. He was waiting for the Transcendence. Now the Transcendence faded, and the Graviton gonna get everyone together. The patience paying off, and GC Busan gonna be getting through point B.
Edison did have to invest the grab, but he gets the Transcendence out of Dance.
And this is huge. GC Busan right now is fighting for the right to bring this to map 5.
Surely Ion's making a swap. Yes, Ion makes the swap to Ryan. No more Primal up. You need the Ryan to block Oberon Shadow here to contest the cart. A huge, huge portion of this next fight is dependent upon Oberon Shatter.
This is the final opportunity for Gen.G to deny a map 5. They're moving forward. The box of victory right in front of them. Oberon getting stunned. Heavy focus fire onto him, but he has the Earth Shatter. It's loaded in the hammer. Self-destruct coming on in. Does not get what it's looking for. Free. Getting back in, Transcendence Investigator for GC Busan. Oberon still hanging on to that Earth Shatter like a pendulum of doom, waiting to strike. Drops the Shatter, knocks down 3, moves forward as Gen.G. But GC Busan, they deal with it. The barrier up, it connects. Daydream, Ion to shatter his own. Gonna be answered by the Transcendence here from Gen.G.
Edison's gonna have grab after this. It's so big.
The grab is coming in. Gen.G all together. Ion there for the follow through, but Oberon back the other way. Is it gonna be enough?
Ion's too healthy.
It's Oberon versus the world. The world is gonna win, and we're gonna be heading to what looks like a map 5.
Well played from GC Busan Wave. Little emotes on the cart there to finish it out. Really, really huge play from GC Busan Wave. You said they were envious of Gen.G, but if Gen.G never has the right engage there, then they don't stop the cart, and they could never stop the cart because they could never get the right engage. They had the ults, didn't use the ults properly. They don't have the ults, overcommit to the fight. Just the mistake after mistake after mistake in terms of stopping that.
When Gen.G goes back and reviews the series, regardless of whether or not they win map 5, that engage in the middle of point B is going to come back and haunt them because they had every advantage going into that. It should have been their fight, and more than that, they didn't have to engage there. There was only 30 seconds left. They could have waited for a better positioning, and instead they just dive in, and it doesn't work out for them, and as a result, we got a map 5.
I mean, it's map 5 now. We are going to that final control map, that final King of the Hills, it's known, but it's technically control, as we see. And I think that this will be a really, really interesting matchup here because it seems like GC Busan Wave has completely moved away from trying to put Edison on anything other than Zarya.
Yeah.
They really want to just play the 3-3. They want to win the 3-3, and so far it's looking like they've had a much better job doing it.
I mean, it's certainly been looking a lot better than the throw to McCree and play strategies, or prey, that they were doing earlier in the day. But guys, we do have a quick break. When we come back, the thrilling conclusion of the series. Well, during the break, it was seen that GC Busan Wave was spotted getting brooms because right now they're preparing for the reverse sweep. And Gen.G, who is looking so good at the first half, has now let GC Busan Wave back into this game.
I mean, it's a mental boom.
Yeah.
We said it before, we've seen it again. But this GC Busan Wave coming into their own element and just playing 3-3 and just being good in 3-3. And stop trying to run McCree. As you see, there's sort of a limerick going on there because I was trying to keep the end. But they looked a lot better when they're trying to play 3-3 than when they're putting Edison onto other heroes, onto McCree especially. Just trying to win that frontline war. Just put a lot of value into Ion. Ion himself has been looking really strong.
You know, now you've said all this, now that we're back to control, watch them roll out on McCree.
I can't wait to see it.
Like, if that happens,
I can't wait to see it.
I'll be so sad. Unless it works.
I mean, we've seen it work on control before in their first matchup, but, you know, I would also like for them to just, you know, if they've put this much effort into bringing back the series, If you're doing so good on 3-3, stick to 3-3. You're looking really solid on 3-3 now, GC Busan Wave. Stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, their 3-3 has looked much better as the series has gone on. They were obviously able to fight themselves out of a very tough situation there at Gibraltar where, look, we can debate and say that, okay, Gen.G, did they have a bad engage on point B? Sure.
Yes.
But it still required a bunch of good engages from GC Busan to even get it back to that point. So their level of play has definitely gone up as the series has gone on. But now we are going to Ilios where this is all going to shake out.
You know,
no, it's Oasis, sorry.
It's Oasis. Yeah.
This is what I get for not looking at the screen.
That's a class, the no look. You're so confident in the pick. Didn't even want to call it, but this is actually where we saw GC Busan Wave run that McCree and get value before previously. But I doubt they're going to use it now. And Gen.G, you know, I'm shocked to see that they aren't even attempting to use some wonky DPS strats. They seem so confident before. They have Stalker in, that Sombra player, but instead they're going to be sticking with the 3-3 as well.
Now, the interesting thing about this particular stage of Oasis, this is where Edison was able to make McCree work, and he rolled out with it before. This time, though,
no. And they're sticking with 3-3, which I like. I'm glad they're feeling confident on 3-3. I'm glad they think they can win the battle, and Edison is feeling a lot more confident, looking a lot more confident on Zarya.
And again, high aggression coming in from GC Busan Wave, but they eat a lot of damage early on. Gen.G much healthier here, free, just alive on a whim and a prayer. Yet Gen.G giving up a bit of ground here. The bubble could be forcing them back, but now the bubble's been used for the GC Busan Wave, and look for things to go back the other way. Heavy pressure going on to Ion here. Ion gonna fall, isolated.
He goes for the charge. His barrier must have been broken. The health wasn't great, but that is the definition of a YOLO charge, unable to pick up anything from there.
So Gen.G going to be taking this very first fight, putting a little bit more pressure on the GC Busan.
Now, Gen.G winning that first fight, owning control. And the biggest difference maker right now between the two teams in this upcoming fight is going to be Stalker's grab. Stalker's so far ahead in the grab war.
And the key here is that you think about where this goes, that he can get the early grab, force out the Transcendence, and then they have a Transcendence of their own to just finish the fight. So where Stalker is, and again, Free eats so much damage early on. Stalker, gotta drop the grab, Fielder, having Transcendence save, he can't even get in time. Alpha Yi falls, and that's so much better for Gen.G. They get to save their own Transcendence entirely.
Well, Trance won't save you from burst damage, and that is what Charge does when you have a very big Reinhardt pin you against a very solid surface.
Oh, look at the stagger right now.
Stagger here onto Free. Free going down late.
This has been a very tough round for Free so far.
It has been a tough round for Free so far. Gen.G now still owning the point, 50% almost for their time bank. However, they had to invest the grab. GC Busan Wave coming back with their combo.
GC Busan looking for a way back into this. Gen.G still looking remarkably solid in what they have. The only thing they're not going to have for this fight is grab. Rally. Invested early here from GC Busan Wave as they head onto the point. Again, heavy poke damage coming from Gen.G. O'Brien dropping the shatter. That's quite what he wants. Wuyall, self-destruct to the back, gets Daydream, just barely clips him, and gives Gen.G the edge.
No speed, no beat. That is going to be that for GC Busan Wave. They have to back up. Gonna be nearly, it's gonna be 4 ults in the bank, gonna be 6 soon because Fielder will build that trance pretty fast. They need to get something, and they need to get it soon. 85% already for Gen.G.
Only upside here for GC Busan is Gen.G did invest quite a bit in the last fight. They still have both support ults, but the offense is going to be a little bit rougher. But Stalker almost with another grab. Heavy charge, it connects!
And the grab Eden too. This is the last fight. The Shatter's out.
It's pure dominance from Gen.G.
Free the Shatter.
The redemption story after getting absolutely roughed up early. Free lands the self-destruct that gets GC Busan Wave back in the round.
The self-destruct off the Shatter of Ion 2, it was a combo play, but most importantly from that engage was really not GC Busan flipping the point. It's the fact that Wuyall ate grab. Edison's grab was Eden, which means Gen.G now have a win condition. They have beat, they have grab. This is it. They have to, this has to get denied. GC Busan Wave has to deny this to win the round.
We'll see exactly what Free is able to do here. If he's truly on the redemption tour, he's going to eat this grab. At least that's what he has to believe. And the grab not eaten. No, the grab is not eaten. The grab instead connects, but GC Busan, they lose Ion off of it. And here comes Oberon, Free the Shatter, no shield in his way. Gen.G moving back over. And now this is looking very good. Of course, if they retake here, that's going to be it. Transcendence invested by GC Busan, trying to delay, hoping for the miracle. but Gen.G just too beefy on the point. This round now very likely to be theirs.
Very likely. Edison close to the grab, Ion close to that shatter, but the point's been flipped. Fuse still has beat. Dance about to have that transcendence. They're using the beat very aggressively there. That's Ion down.
Ion out of the fight. GC Busan Wave. They've been stuck in a stagger formation here for way too long. Wakid gonna be taken down. Transcendence can get him through the wall. Self-destruct coming in here from Wuyao. Right by a little bit more room. Off the self-destruct. Gets Alpha Yi out of the fight. It's still Gen.G with an enormous advantage. It's been a good delay from GC Busan Wave. They've been keeping options open. Edison picks up two. Transcendence in. Could they actually?
This is so
bring this back. It's Edison! Edison going full hero mode. Ends up falling.
Can't touch.
It's not enough.
Can't touch. I thought that was going to be it. I watched Fuse just absolutely catapult Edison directly into Dance. He was hiding underneath. He was very low HP, and Fuse puts full energy Edison directly into his face. Just express delivers the Amazon drone package. I was like, oh my goodness, he's actually just handed them the round. But luckily for Gen.G, they've cleaned up. They're in good position now.
And Amazon's gotten a lot more brutal over time in that case. That's quite a package.
It is.
Who knew what the 2050s would bring to you? Apparently pain.
Gen.G now, just getting ready to go out here. On this next fight, it'll be one round up for Gen.G.
Gates.
Reinhardt's for both teams.
We have Reinhardt's on both sides. 3-3 versus 3-3. Edison not showing up in the McCree, not going around with that. Gen.G looking to end this with a bang. High ground fight.
The early boop. Ion not able to contest, and here comes
Edison isolated.
So aggressive.
They just immediately grabbed Edison off the rotation. They do lose Wuyao's mech from it.
I think that's a good trade.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, also Wuyao can get back in the mech. It's still not the end of the world. Ion gonna fall here, and Gen.G, this is absolutely perfect where not only are they winning the fight, but it's taking a while to clean up. Busan is taking a long time to reset, so they're going to draw things out, get control, and get more progress in the end because of it.
Very long fight there for the first. However, Gen.G coming up on top. They have very big rally advantage. Everything else pretty equal across the board. Gen.G owning this high ground.
Meanwhile, for GC Busan, they have to look for a way back in, and they're going to decide, you know, we're just going to go through the ground. You guys have to drop down, decide how you want to deal with it, and for now, they're just sitting around. He does
have that rally. I wouldn't be surprised to see him very, very aggressive for Gen.G.
Rally, it's going to be invested here. Gen.G is going to be a little bit more aggressive. They drop on down, say hello to GC Busan. Do a lot of poke damage to Free to start this out. Fielder, though, getting Transcendence up a little bit earlier. Dance, though, ready to dance. The other Zen, Oberon holding back. Gonna drop the Shatter, not connecting with much of anything. And now Wuyao dropping the self-destruct for the Graviton, looking for it, gets Ion. And off the man advantage, Gen.G still in a good spot.
Really good boot coming out for Fuse, setting up the bomb, despite the Shatter from Ion, which could have denied the cleanup. So Fuse keeping them in the fight there, giving Wuyao's Vom value.
GC Busan Wave works so hard to force a map 5 to keep the opportunity open for a reverse sweep. But now it's down to potentially just 2 fights, maybe not even that. This next fight is one they need to win.
GC Busan Wave need to really minimize ult usage in this next fight. They know Dance should not have any Transcendence. They know Stalker doesn't have Grav. They need to try to minimize as much as possible because they're going to need these ults to hold on to the point.
Edison holding over here. Wuyao getting beaten up in that mech. Really limiting the ability for Gen.G to move forward. But what a boom! Freeze out of there! The Graviton gonna be coming in, but Free was setting up for the self-destruct. The fall through that will not be there now as Gen.G looking to put this one on ice, 95%. GC Busan, though, fighting their way back in. A boop from Daydream gets Oberon off the map, and GC Busan Wave still very well could fight this back. Fielder gonna invest in Transcendence. Gen.G on the ropes.
GC Busan Wave have to get a single kill with this Trans. If they don't get any kills, I don't think they win this fight.
No, they haven't gotten the kills they're looking for. Wuyao has self-destruct, so does Free. GC Busan, though, they're able to recap, and Gen.G can play this a little bit slower.
They're moving back in, but now Dance has that Transcendence up. Stalker close to the grab over on the Shatter. So really, you could just gonna use that support ult to try to catch someone early.
Shatter's up free, just going to lay the self-destruct down. It's more of a zoning self-destruct, not as impactful as you'd like. Meanwhile, Gen.G, a self-destruct of their own, comes in, doesn't connect. Oberon out of the fight. Free, able to get onto the Rhine. A little bit of focus fire. 6 on 5 for GC Busan, keeping the edge right now and buying a lot of valuable time.
Great fight back from GC Busan Wave. I really did not think they were going to be able to win that fight using that Transcendence so early, not getting a lot of value from it, but the spawns in their favor. Now Gen.G having to move back, look for this next fight. If Stalker can get this grab before Fielder or Daydream get an ult, Gen.G have a strong opening.
And for GC Busan, they need to delay for that right now. They have to expect that the grab is coming in, or they're going to take the fight to them. They drop down, but they lose their Brigida immediately out the fight. Edison trying to equalize. Drops the Graviton of his own, but it's too late. People are flying one by one. It's nowhere near enough. Gen.G going in off the early pick of the Brigida. Going to recap the point, and that's going to be it.
I don't think there's going to be any contest for GC Busan Wave. That will be the map.
Absolutely not. They prevent the reverse sweep.
No reverse sweep.
Gen.G, they might have gotten mental boomed a bit after Horizon, but they pulled together on map 5. They prevent the reverse sweep, and also they prevent themselves from going down 0-2 to start the season.
They do. However, GC Busan Wave is now 0-2, so not a great start for them. However, that series was much better for them than it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Almost reverse sweeping. However, almost doesn't count. Almost only counts in 2 things. It counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, is what I've been told, and we're not doing either of those here, I believe. I think this is just Overwatch.
It is just Overwatch. I mean, the only saving grace there is that at least GC Busan Wave, they keep the map differential about as even as it could be here in a loss, so as far as that goes, that's still good, but it really does increase the pressure on them for the rest of the season.
For sure.
Meanwhile, for Gen.G, a team with a lot of expectations on them, being the Seoul Academy team, at the very least, I can look back and feel like, okay, we're still in this. We had a bad week 1. We finished off week 2 with a win. Let's look to the future.
Yeah, the future is definitely where they have to look towards, because they do not have any wins in the past. It's just not there right now. In fact, we can see they don't have any wins if we look our results for today.